Bluey is full of amazing messages delivered in a wonderful way.
Am I making a mistake?
Probably, but let's make it together.
But have you ever noticed that some of the things in this little pup show just don't make any sense? Everyone knows that Bandit is definitely the best dad in the world, and without the games he plays with his kids, it would be hard to explain some of the things that happen in the show. A great example comes in the very first episode, where we see a funny game unique to the Healer family. The girls supposedly have a magical xylophone, and whenever they play it, the person it's aimed at has no choice but to freeze like a statue. As this is fans' first glimpse of the Healer family, the characters' personalities are introduced right off the bat. Bandit is a super playful dad, and sisters Bluey and Bingo are very close. Bluey, the older sister, doesn't like to take turns with Bingo on the xylophone, and though Bandit eventually breaks free from the magic spell, everything ends well when the pups work it out and go back to using the toy on their dad. Bandit thinks he's going to use a garden hose to splash his daughter, but the two girls turn on him and use the magical xylophone to freeze their dad's movements. It's all part of the game, and it's clear Bandit is fully into it. Yet he's willing to keep the hose spraying his face for so long that he almost chokes from all the water. Not recommended, by the way. Wasting water isn't great, but it's hilarious to see Bandit play along, even though there's obviously no magic xylophone. None of this would make sense if not for this reason. Of course, because Mr. Healer is the best dad ever. In today's video, we're going to show you 14 things in Bluey that don't make any sense, so grab your popcorn and a few magical asparagus and join us for another Cinewave episode. How far would Bandit go to teach his daughters something in a fun way? In this case, it was fun for viewers, but tough for the Healer sisters. In the episode Ragdoll, Bluey finds some money and wants to go to the ice cream shop to spend it on a cold treat. But instead of just making it easy for her, Dad Healer decides to turn himself into a very talkative but completely limp ragdoll that can't walk. Anyone watching would wonder what's going on, seeing two little pups trying to carry a super heavy grown dog around like that. If it weren't all part of the game, it would be hard to believe that Bandit was truly playing a ragdoll. Even their neighbor, Wendy, passes by and is totally confused. Yep, Bandit's antics really make no sense. If the xylophone could freeze people in place, then maybe the magic asparagus in the season 1 episode could help Bluey eat more veggies, right? Wrong. In this game, Bandit wants to teach good manners at dinner because technically, they're not animals. Chili gives Bluey a magic asparagus, allowing her to turn anyone into an animal she chooses. Bluey turns Bandit into a donkey, Bingo into a pig, and Chili into a chicken. Things get so chaotic that Bluey has to keep changing everyone's animals. Honestly, this family really doesn't make any sense, as they're all so into the game that the whole house turns upside down. At one point, Bluey turns Bandit into a walrus and he even falls out of a tree. Later, when Chili and Bingo are turned into lions, they end up attacking Lucky's dad in the yard. The poor guy has no idea why Mom Healer suddenly jumps on him and bites his ankle. Good thing it was all just a game, right? One of the scenes in Bluey that makes the least sense happens in the season 2 episode Favorite Thing, when the Healer family is playing a game where they share favorite memories. Unfortunately, Bluey ends up sharing an embarrassing memory about Bingo, making her little sister really upset. To cheer her up, Bluey comes up with a totally silly story saying Bingo saved the day when a pink hippo almost squished a garden gnome. To show his gratitude, Bandit gives the hippo's bottom a bunch of kisses, which of course never actually happened. But hey, anything goes when it's about cheering up the little one. Would you kiss a hippo to cheer someone up? Then comment with #kiss so we can get to know ya. There's a mistake that's so subtle it almost slips by unnoticed, but if you're a keen fan of every episode, you'll spot that some characters show up in scenes where they shouldn't even be in the episode. In the season 1 episode Mums and Dads, Rusty and Indy get into an argument while playing a family game, disagreeing over who should go to work, the mom or the dad. The solution ends up being a brief separation where they each try to form a family with other friends. Rusty, who wanted to play the dad, ends up becoming Bluey's baby, while Indy, who just wanted to work, ends up putting her imaginary baby into a medieval battle. That's not even the strangest part. The entire episode is set at Bluey's school, yet in the background, we see Bingo's school friends, who are 2 years younger, playing on the swings in the garden. It's hard to argue that it's a school with multiple grades, since we all know that the Healer sisters don't even go to the same school. Are Bingo's friends skipping class already? Now, there's no mystery or nonsense quite as puzzling as the fact that Chili does laundry, even though her family doesn't wear clothes. We might think maybe she has a job related to laundry, but most of the characters don't wear normal clothes, only their fur. Still, we know Chili works outside the home, and it has nothing to do with laundry. She actually works at the airport. So why does the Healer family even have clothes? And why is Chili washing so many of them? You know that strange owl toy of BLUEY'S, Chattermax? That thing seems to have a life of its own. It keeps popping up in odd places where Bluey clearly didn't leave it. For example, there's a time it turns up inside the laundry cabinet, and another time it causes a mess while Bluey is playing with a stuffed animal. Here's a tough question for you. If a xylophone can freeze someone in place and an asparagus can turn you into an animal, what does a feather wand do? Of course, it makes things super heavy. Makes sense, right? Not really. Ludo Studios, the creators of Bluey, sometimes make us wonder if there's real magic involved. In Season 2, Bingo, who wasn't invited to Chloe's birthday, gets a feather wand that makes objects feel incredibly heavy, and the whole family starts acting as if everything around them weighs 1,000 pounds. Is it really magic, or just a huge desire to play along? Now, to keep things from getting too heavy, I think you'd better click the subscribe button and activate the notification bell. In the episode with the feather wand, there's a little detail most fans haven't noticed. Chloe's house address is wrong. On the party invitation, it says the party will be at number 26, but in the octopus episode, Chloe's house is clearly marked as number 101. It doesn't make any sense. You might think they rented a hall for the party, right? Wrong. That would make even less sense. Remember when we mentioned that Chloe didn't invite Bingo to the party? It's not because she doesn't like Bingo, it's because it was her 7th birthday and she only invited 7 friends. Maybe this is an Australian custom, but if you're only inviting 7 people, renting a venue for the party seems unnecessary. The only conclusion is that the party was at her house and the address was simply a mistake. Let us spill some tea, but keep it just between us, okay? Chili once gave Uncle Stripe a kiss on the lips. Seriously, didn't you see it? Actually, it didn't quite happen that way. In the library episode, when Stripe brings Muffin over to play with the girls, the animation gets a bit mixed up, making it look like they're sharing a quick kiss. But even though it looks like a kiss on the lips, it was actually just a peck on the cheek. It's definitely an error, since something like that would never be shown in Bluey's world, so it's kind of strange that it happened. Did you know that Rusty was going to be the main character before the creators chose Bluey? But here's the thing that doesn't make sense. They have almost the exact same design. It's practically like Rusty is Bluey's twin brother, which doesn't make sense in the show since they're different breeds. With the only real differences being Rusty's color and the spot on his chest, some fans even mistake him for a healer. Maybe it would have been better to change up his design a bit before launching the show. The movie theater episode also showed us something a bit off. It confirms that there are other types of animals, like monkeys and leopards, but where are they? Is Brisbane or all of Australia only populated by dogs? It doesn't seem to make much sense that other animals exist but don't live anywhere near Bluey's neighborhood. Speaking of long distances, Grandpa Bob is the one who went off without telling anyone and came back at the end of Season 3 saying he'd gone to find himself in India. Now, don't say that traveling is normal, because that's not the problem here. He didn't even let anyone know. Bluey and her cousins had no idea what had happened to him, and that's not how things are supposed to work, Mr. Grandpa. The little ones needed to know. Quite a big oversight, don't you think?
Oh, now I see.
Everyone's seen the scene where Bandit plays with the yoga ball from his office, trying to imitate that iconic Indiana Jones scene. But there's a subtle yet odd mistake in this scene that few people catch. When Bandit rolls the ball, the pups jump into a room with a rug and a red sofa. But when Bingo misses her jump, she runs far away before getting hit by the ball. So far, so good. But the odd part is that when the scene cuts back, we see Bingo lying down right next to the door. It doesn't make sense, as she clearly ran a long way from the spot where she was supposed to jump. But you know what does make perfect sense? Sticking with us here on the channel. We've got 2 more videos lined up for you to enjoy, so keep watching and having fun. We'll see you in the next video.